Hi everyone, this is another video, another update, showing off some CDs, some cassettes, etc. and vinyl. This week I've been selling off more than I've actually been accumulating, mainly because I need the room, and secondly I'm saving up for my latest business venture, which is doing a cassette label, which should be very exciting, but also a giant leap into the unknown. And first off, I'll show the cassettes I got. So I'm about to do an article for my website, sort of to coincide with the beginning of this cassette label and my experiences doing it. And I thought I'd interview a few owners of do-it-yourself cassette labels. And one of the most recognisable one is Burger Records. I did get to chat to Sean, the owner, but I did also manage to buy some of their releases. The first one is Tomorrow's Tulips, Eternally Teenage. I mean, this is quite a good album. It's think the Jesus and Mary chain with less feedback, but instead they recorded on a shitty 4-track cassette recorder. It's barely audible, it's very lo-fi, but beneath it there's a bit of a pop sensibility. The next one is the Rubinus. This is a sort of Bay Area power pop band. Very good, very bubblegummy. Probably a bit too sugary for some people's taste, but for me it has this sort of weird kind of innocence to it, which, you know, I just can't help enjoying, you know. And yeah, I've got some CDs. Firstly, Deep Purple live in Japan. I bought this because it was like £2-3. Not the best sounding of CDs, but it's an alright live album. I don't mind Deep Purple, I reckon they're okay. And there's some really good bits on there, like a 9-minute cover version of Little Richard's Lucille. Next up, Rising for the Moon, Fairport Convention. This is like the deluxe edition with a sort of bonus live disc. This is probably one of my sort of least favourite sort of albums that Fairport did, or of what I own of their back catalogue. I don't really tend to go past Full House, which was the last one with Richard Thompson. But Rising for the Moon was sort of Sandy Denny's brief return into the fold, and there is a few good songs on there, but it's not that strong a record. But it does have White Dress on there, which is a song in some parallel universe. It's probably being played at more weddings than Etta James At Last is. So yeah, slightly tying in with that Rubino's cassette. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I decided to get another sort of similarly bubblegummy power pop act on vinyl, the Raspberries. This had like Eric Carmen before he did that really drippy ballad All By Myself. It's quite good actually. I've not listened to it too many times. In this pressing, which is on, I'll show you it. Look at the sound. It's on red vinyl. It doesn't actually sound that great, to be honest. Well, the sound quality is good, but there's some sort of pressing defect on mine. You know, it sounds very, very noisy in the running grooves. But yeah, I mean, this is sort of the cheaper end of the MoFi spectrum. I bought this for sort of like £15. But yeah, where have you buy? These next two were freebies, yeah, promotional freebies. Yeah, Joy Division's 2 studio albums, Unknown Pleasures and Closer. These are sort of new reissues that Rhino have done in the UK. What did I think about them? I mean, those two albums were sort of the soundtrack to my teenage years. Like when I was a student, first time round, used to listen to those two albums of death. But like the Manic Street Preachers' Holy Bible, which was another album I used to listen to around that time, you know, I just don't really. I enjoy listening to them, but I don't really have feel quite the same about them. But I do remember having fond memories of buying Closer on CD for the first time. I'm just hearing sort of all the sort of weird noises that like Barney, Bernard, name escapes me. They call him Barney. I keep on forgetting his name. The guitarist, Bernard Sumner, made from his guitar. It sort of freaked me out a little, but I was fascinated enough to sort of keep listening to it. And those pressings are good. They're digitally sourced. They're not audiophile quality, but I compared them to my Heart and Soul box set, and generally they do sound better. The sort of instruments are sort of like Peter Hook's bass is sort of less in your face. Everything seems to be sort of less squished together. But I mean, even the Heart and Soul box set sounds respectable. But yeah, highly recommended pressings. Next up is Richard Thompson. Still, I've got massive gaps in my Richard Thompson collection. I really like his stuff. This is a solid album, but it's not his best. I mean, there's some rather sort of weak songs on there, but stuff like All Buttoned Up, She Can Never Resist a Winding Road, I mean, they're some of his best songs, I reckon. The kind of songs that wouldn't have fitted, that would easily fit onto some of his albums like Rumour and Sigh. And last but not least, this is an album by Zunzun Egwai. They were sort of a local band for me. They're from Bristol. They're sort of made up of sort of transplants to the city, or the two sort of mainstays in the band. One of them was from Mauritius and the other one was Japanese. Mark Stewart from the pop group told me about these guys when we chatted over the phone. I'm not really sure if I like this, but some bits of it is very, very good. The first two tracks, Rigid Man in African Tree, are really sort of hyperactive Afrobeat influenced music. It sounds a bit like Tune Yards without sort of Meryl's sort of androgynous voice. Yeah, it's an okay record, but unfortunately they split up recently. They only just started playing gigs outside of Bristol, and they just started playing gigs in London. They went on a tour of the pop group, and they split up suddenly. They were meant to do sort of Meltdown with David Byrne or something like that. But yeah, it's an alright record, but I'm not really sure if I'm going crazy about it. So that's about it for this video. I'm going to be doing another one maybe sometime early next month. Soon I'll be going on a sort of digging trip to Cardiff, somewhere where I haven't been for about a year. Last time I decided to go with a load of records with me, and it was a bit of a sort of a bit of an arduous trip. So this time round I'm not taking any records with me to trade in, and so that should be fun. And I really do hope that the sort of two smaller shops I went in, which were sort of badly stacked with vinyl, are a bit more easier to sift through. But yeah, so I hope to be back with another video later on. So until then, goodbye.